There's some breaking news coming in from Pakistan, a confirmation from Pakistani authorities that this man on your screen, Mullah Omar, the head of the Afghan Taliban, is dead. This is information that's coming in just now. We'll try and bring you more details in a little while. Mullah Omar had really been the leader in the forefront of defining the strategy of the Afghan Taliban in the fight against the American forces in the region. Let's just go straight across now to NDTV's Yusra Askari, who joins us for more on this. Yusra, what are some of the details that you're getting?
Vishnu, at the moment, details do remain sketchy. The news has been doing the round for approximately 2 to 3 days. There has been some that Mullah Umar's eldest son is due to take over charge. At the moment, there's no confirmation from the Pakistani army or military regarding Mullah Omar at the time. Vishnu?
We've heard of his death many times in the past as well, and he hadn't died on those occasions. Why is there now a sense that this could really be the big deal? This could be the story. Is it based on something substantive, some reports of an attack having taken place against him, as a result of which he lost his life?
So what we have been hearing about for a few days is his disappearance. There has been no confirmation regarding his death. But now sources within the Afghan government are confirming that Mullah Umar has indeed died. At the moment, this would be speculative news, but if indeed it is true, it would be a big budget day for Pakistan after the death of Malik Isaaq, who was killed along with his 2 sons and 13 aides in Muzaffarabad earlier today. Vishnu?
All right, Yusra Askari over there reporting for us, bringing us the news that the leader of the Afghan Taliban, Mullah Omar, has died. Now, this is according to some sources. We're just trying to get the very latest on this. There is a sense that the Taliban could also issue a statement to this in a little while from now. This isn't the first time that there have been reports of Mullah Omar's death in the past. This has happened as well, but this time around there seems to be a renewed buzz, and perhaps some sort of news would emerge on this. Now, Mullah Omar led the Taliban to victory over rival Afghan militia in the civil war that followed the withdrawal of Soviet troops. His alliance with the Al-Qaeda leader Osama bin Laden prompted the US-led invasion of Afghanistan in 2001. That attack in 2001 took place in the aftermath of the 9/11 attacks in the United States. Mullah Omar went into hiding after that. There is a huge bounty on his head, $10 million. It's also interesting to note that in the recent past there has been an effort to engage the Taliban in talks, and his death in this context is certainly news. Joining us now for more on this, who do we have on the phone line? Right, Nidhi Razdan joins us on the phone line for more on this. Nidhi, what are you getting on this big developing story?
Well, at the moment, Vishnu, there is nothing that the Indian government is confirming on this story. All we have is a story that the BBC has just tweeted and broken, saying that they have heard from Afghan officials that Mullah Omar has died, although the Taliban has not commented on this claim. According to them, Afghan government officials are saying and intelligence officials are saying that he actually died some 2 to 3 years ago, and that no further details have been released. The BBC also saying that a Taliban spokesperson has said that they will issue a statement shortly. The note of caution here, Vishnu, is that, as you would know, there have been many reports in the past about Mullah Omar being dead, which have then been refuted. There's never been any concrete evidence to back that up. But the BBC now claiming that according to Afghan officials and intelligence officials they have spoken to, they claim that the Taliban leader has in fact died. How he died, when exactly he died is also not clear. Their information is that it was some 2 to 3 years ago, and that is all the information that is there at the moment. He's been in hiding, of course, for many years now. There's been a $10 million US State Department bounty on his head as well. And he has not been seen for several years now, which is why there have often been reports that he is in fact dead. But again, official word on this, Vishnu, is awaited. These are only reports that are coming out right now. Also reports coming out in the Pakistani media that the Pakistani government has reportedly confirmed his death as well. Again, no official confirmation. Our colleague Yusra was reporting earlier that the Pakistani army has neither confirmed nor denied this report, which in itself is quite significant. But if this is indeed is true and this has happened, it would certainly be a very, very significant development, Vishnu.
Nidhi, this comes at a time when there have been efforts to engage the Taliban in talks.
That's right. In fact, there are talks scheduled for this Friday as well. These are talks that were supposed to take place in Murree in Pakistan. And it is interesting that this news has broken out at this time. Again, the timelines are very important there, Vishnu, because it appears that this is not a recent development, that Mullah Omar, if he is indeed dead, has not died in recent days or of any action that has just taken place. If it has happened, it appears to have happened some 2 to 3 years ago. So yes, members of the Afghan government were supposed to be meeting in Pakistan this Friday with Taliban representatives, and this certainly was an important round of talks. How those are going to be impacted is still too early to say.
Right.
But first, an official confirmation on this developing news is awaited.
Well, let's go straight across to NDTV's Amitabh Revi, who tracks Afghanistan very, very closely. Amitabh, the fact is, if this is true, that he's been killed 2 to 3 years ago, there was always a sense that Mullah Omar was the overarching leader of the Afghan Taliban. If indeed he had died 3 years ago, who then has been in charge?
Well, that's a question that one has to be first answered in the affirmative of whether he is dead. Now, the facts that we know as of now from 2001, after the American invasion of Afghanistan and the fall of the Taliban, is that Mullah Omar has neither been seen publicly, he's neither been seen in pictures, he's neither been seen in a video or even in an audio message. The only messages that have been come purportedly from Mullah Omar since 2001, the last one came just last month during Eid, was in a written format with a so-called Taliban spokesperson signing off for Mullah Omar, saying that this was from Mullah Omar. So we don't even know whether he is alive after 2001. There's been no real visual, audio, or any other proof except for these written statements that have been coming out. But coming to your second question of if he is dead, this is possibly a twofold story that's unfolding in two manners. Now, one, as Nidhi was pointing out there are the second round of talks between the Afghan Taliban and the Afghan government, or representatives of the Afghan government, that are possibly scheduled for Friday. One has already taken place in Murree that had so-called Quetta Shura members on it, as well as representatives of the Haqqani group, very significant because Haqqani group also linked to several attacks on Indian targets, including the embassies and consulates in India. And there was also a US representative and a Chinese representative during the first round of talks. So there is speculation among sources in the Afghan government saying that these reports that are coming out, which seemingly are speculative in nature because there is no name to the source that is putting out these reports that Mullah Omar is dead. They are just reports suggesting that the Pakistan government has informed the Afghan government, but no one in the Pakistan government or the Afghan government is willing to go on record to say that this is where the information originated from. So it is extremely speculative at the moment, it seems, because those second round of talks are scheduled for Friday, and there's possibly splintering of the Taliban on whether they should be talking to the Afghan government or not.